Hey everybody, did you know that Amazon has provided self-publishers with an awesome opportunity to be able to showcase their books and sell more books? That opportunity is A+ content. So if you want to hear more about A+ content and get some inspiration, some tips, tricks, even some templates and a free ebook, then stick around. Hi everybody, I'm Ashley with Publish with Ashley, and where I talk about making money online and a lot about KDP, self-publishing, and low and no content books. I'm actually going to start talking a little bit more about Etsy because I have a few interviews coming up and some other things, some digital products and stuff like that. So please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my shows, where I'm happy and excited to give you information that is helpful, truly helpful for you guys. Okay, so what I wanted to do is let me add this to stream. Okay, so what I wanted to do first is I talked about a free ebook. Here is that free ebook. One of my friends, Cindy from Adudu, it's a type of software that helps you publish low content books, puzzles, all sorts of things. But she has actually created this free ebook that you can get. I have the link in the show notes, and it's ways to make awesome mockups. And she talks about sites and step-by-step instructions. It's a free ebook. I just downloaded it last night and was looking through it. So definitely check that out. It is free. All right. And then also I wanted to go to this next thing. Also, she has done, if you're, I don't know, a new beginner or struggling or something like that with A+ content, she actually has some templates that you can use that are in Canva, where you just kind of drag and drop pages. Here's some examples. I really kind of like these. These would be great for pages to, showcase just pages inside your book. And I think it looks really good and it gives a nice idea and tip. But she's got a lot of different types of layouts. Okay. So that can be really helpful and give you kind of maybe if you need some templates or you don't want to make your own, this is an idea. That link is in the show notes. Okay, so here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of get into A+ content with examples and things like that. So one of the ways you can do that, and I want to give you guys, tools and tips and ways to be able to do some of this research by yourself. So Google is an amazing, capability. It's an amazing thing we have. A lot of questions can be answered by Google, especially if you think about it. So I typed in here Amazon and then in quotes put from the publisher, because that's what A+ content is under. It's under the from the publisher section. So I actually did that, and then I clicked images, and you can see not all of these are exactly what you're looking for, and some actually take you to the A+ content, like this one in particular is an example that KDP actually gives, but it actually does have you can click on these and go to those. Let's see, where was one that I thought was pretty good down here. Oh, okay, so like this one, you can click on it and then you can actually go to the link and see. But this is kind of a pretty example. It gives the colors that were within the book. It gives some more information and that sort of thing. So these can give you, just by typing into Google, you can kind of get some inspiration. But I wanted to talk specifically, I've looked at a few different A+ contents, and I wanted to talk to you, how should you structure your A+ content? What can you do? What would help you, do this better? And so I pulled off a few, and this one is from an off-the-grid solar-powered book. And what I wanted to show you is a few things. One, you want A+ content to say something about your book, and that depends on what type of book. Now, this in particular is very nonfiction, solar power off the grid. But what I really like about it is that they've done it, it's very big and bold, and they've picked a solid color palette, yellow, blue for the solar panels. It's a good solid standout color palette. And they've done it's a nonfiction book, right? So they've done exactly what a nonfiction book should do, in the sense of off-grid solar power simplified. And it tells exactly what it is. And then it says how you can make your own off-grid system. It shows that you can get this in the Kindle form. It shows you can get it in a book form. And then it tells you exactly what this book is going to teach you, right? And it's a very pictorial, bold thing, but it's simple, it's to the point, and it's kind of direct. And it tells you something about the type of book this will be. It'll be, hopefully, at least from what they're projecting in their A+ content, that it's going to be easy to read, that it's going to be focused. that it's going to give you just what you need so that you can solve your problem. And that's the tone this is giving off. You know, the bold colors of confidence, of facts and information this gives you, okay? Like the print, it's bold, easy to read. You want basically your fonts, your colors, your tone to exemplify what your book is about. Okay, so let's talk about another one. And this one, this is about Excel. And what are the color schemes of Excel? Green and white, right? So they're not necessarily copying Excel or doing anything that you would consider copying, but they are using the same color tones so that you associate green with Excel. So, you know, they're definitely using that as a thing. And again, it's bold, it's to the point, it has a consistency across it. You know, it's giving you some big, bold numbers, 20 plus total hours, 77 video tutorials. And this is pretty big. You know, people who are doing Excel, it might be something confusing to write about, but if it's got some videos, that's going to be something somebody wants to know. So making it stand out in yellow is important. 10 Excel modules, you know, private access to an online Excel course. Okay. This is really well done because it's giving me the idea that it is more than just this book right here, right? It's more than just a Kindle. It's more than a hardcover. It's more than a paperback. It's got videos, and it's really trying to boldly point this out. Okay, so I like this because it's the colors are right. It's pointing out facts well, and it's easy to read and easy to understand what this book is about. And it's highlighting things that maybe you wouldn't normally think of in a book. Like for a fact, it has video tutorials. Okay. So I wanted to go to another example, and this one is guitar exercises for beginners. And what I really liked about this is it gave, you know, guitar or learning guitar is kind of an art, an interest, a passion, that sort of thing. And this did this really well. First off, it has a really nice picture of the book next to the items, you know, notes, an actual guitar and things like that. And it talks, you know, about what they would learn in their short paragraphs, which is important. Remember, I know it's a book and you think people want to read, but people want to make a decision very quickly. So you never want to have too much detail. You want to get as short of sentences and as to the point as you possibly can. Okay, this is showing someone actually practicing. It might be the author himself. Actually, someone took a picture of him and talking about, you know, what to practice, how to practice, and see how they've used bold to really answer the questions that people are trying to look for. So they're highlighting the things that their audience is interested in. And I love this. They kind of made it kind of a grungy blue color to make it stand out from these warmer toned pictures. And it's giving, you know, just like that Excel where it gave the highlights, it's giving this highlights in a visual yet a few words. 10 songs, exercises dedicated for scales and chords and basic techniques. And then it does have some words down here, which is good, but I doubt too many people are going to read them. But it's good to have them all match. Now, this is what I really love. I think this is so amazing. This person has gotten probably on social media from their, you know, fan base to say, hey, please send me, you know, pictures of your book and you're happy, you know, you were happy with your product. Please send a picture. And maybe they gave them something free in exchange, like an extra. And maybe they actually emailed or in their book said, you know, please send a picture of you with your book and I'll send you XYZ for free. Right. So this is a great way to get social proof. Like, look at all these pictures of these happy people with their book. Okay, this one is kind of cute. She's got it all tabbed up and reading it, but it's very personable. It's very, and this might be something that takes a while to actually get, but I mean, this really sells it for me. It's not. This is beautifully done, but this social proof is huge. And if you can do something like this, I mean, especially because this is a very interactive thing, guitar and teaching someone something that they're going to put time into, that they might actually want to give you a picture back and, you know, kind of say their gratitude for helping you learn this skill they're interested in. But I think this is really cool. I really do. Okay, now let's do this one. And this one is kind of to talk about personality. And you really have to consider what your book is. Like first we were talking kind of about nonfiction and very more analytical, like solar power, Excel, guitar is kind of, yes, it is a skill. Yes, it is something you need to learn, but it's still kind of maybe a little more artsy, right? So you're appealing to a different audience, and that's what they really tried to do with it. This, I want to show you that you can highlight your book's personality through color, through what you have. This one is, it's a puzzle for kids. Well, yeah, it's for kids. And look at the colors they're using. It's bright, it's personable. And look at the graphics they actually use on their A+ content marketing. It's got a color palette. It's a little bit more fun. It's kind of, these sketchy doodles they highlight things like magnifying glass and following footprints and the puzzle background. They've done a really good job with this to make it interesting and visually appealing. And I can kind of see the personality of the person, team, whoever did this book through their A+ content. And that tells me about something it tells me something about what's going to be inside. So you can definitely highlight your personality or your book's personality through color, through how you present your A+ content, and it really can sell the person. Like I said, I really love this and the social proof this offers. Now, obviously, this might take you a while to get, if you even get this, but think of things like this. Kind of think outside the box. You can do some of the same things through color and the personality of the type of fonts they're using, the type of colors, the fact they're using doodles, and they're making it just a little bit more interesting than, look at this one. It's bold, it's exact, but this kind of book that makes sense for. This kind of book, it's kind of fun and personable and bright colored, but yet this is a fun riddles book. Okay, so it makes total sense. And both can be very effective because they are targeting their audience and what their audience expects or wants to learn about their particular book and product. Okay, so let me answer some questions. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about A+ content. Like I said, you can get this free ebook, links in the show notes. You can check out these templates if that's something you're interested in. And don't forget, you can always use Google, Amazon from the publisher and quotes section, and then the images so that you can kind of get some ideas. Let's see. And just, decide what your personality of your book is, who you're trying to sell it to, and, match those two things together. Okay, let me take off. There we go. All right, so it's just me. So let me go to comments, questions, if you guys have any. That's pretty much what I wanted to share with you today. But I really want you to consider the personality of the person you're selling it to, the personality of your book, and making your A+ content, really exemplify that. It's your opportunity to sell to your customer in a way that is unique to you, to your book, and to them, right? Like, you've got to appeal to them. So I definitely do that. Okay, let's see. I think most people are just saying good morning. Good morning from Washington. Gail, good morning from good evening from Lagos, Nigeria. Wow. And then keywords other than general ones. Okay, so how do I find keywords? Okay, so keywords, I start by looking at things that are in that genre and looking through their product descriptions, looking through the titles, the subtitles, and you come up with ones that are common across. That's one way to do it. And then what I also try and do is, because I tend to understand my audience and I do research through Google, through Facebook groups, and kind of learn the lingo of that particular audience who's going to purchase that book. And then the ones that seem to work the best for me as far as keywords are what I want to call trending topic type keywords. So once you understand your audience, you do a little Google research, you do a little research on Facebook, you kind of understand who you're talking to. Maybe you look on Pinterest and you kind of look across social media. Etsy is another place you can kind of look for keywords of products that are similar to what you're trying to do. Then once you kind of have all of that, you see patterns And some keywords are very obvious, right? You're just the ones that are in common with everybody, you're probably going to put into your keyword boxes. But the ones people tend to miss are what I want to call the trending topic ones, things that are of high interest to your audience at that point in time. And you can only get those keywords by expanding your research kind of beyond Amazon to, like I said, Facebook groups, understanding the people in those groups who have the interest you're trying to, have your book solve, or a problem your book is trying to solve. Google's amazing. You can find so many things from Google. I actually, I had a book that I was selling a while ago, and I found I was on Google and I found a slang word for the type of book I was creating. And I didn't know it was a slang word until I did a bunch of research and said, because I saw a few people using this word. And I was like, what is that word? And so I did some research and found it was a slang word for this type of book. And so I put that into my keywords, and, it started selling so much faster. But it was because I looked through a bunch of stuff. I'm the type of person who takes like a bunch of data and then, mushes it all in and finds, connections or oddities. In this case, that word was an oddity. So I researched what it was and found out it was a slang word for this type of book. And it wasn't trademarked or anything. It's just literally a slang type word that I wouldn't necessarily use because, I didn't know it until then. But the audience did. So I put that into the keywords. So that's kind of some of my tricks, if you will. They're not necessarily tricks, more just you have to do a little bit of research. You have to apply kind of some thought in the sense of what's connected, why is it connected, what makes sense for my audience. Is there something odd? Is there something different? Is there something trending? And those are things that you can focus in on. You can also focus in, and I've said this before, the opposite end of the market. So let's say you have a particular niche or something you're interested in, and you're doing that. And you can also look at the counter movement, the anti. So, there's people who are, I don't know, this is random. There's people who love cooking, right? So cookbooks, recipe books, and maybe you're doing those type books. Well, there's also the counter movement, which is people who hate cooking or, who hate, cooking. But you can do that with anything. Look and see if you're researching a positive movement or something on one end, you can actually figure out what the counter movement is. And since you're already researching that area, you're already going to kind of know some keywords. So finding, the sarcastic or the humor or the counter movement is also a focus and niche you can do. Maybe you don't want to do that in the same pen name because you don't want to have pro cooking books and then anti cooking books probably in that pen name, but you could create a separate pen name for those two. But you're kind of reusing your research in a different way. So that's a possibility. Can we do A+ content for notebooks? I wouldn't bother because it's a notebook. Maybe if you want to get a template or create something where you're just showing it has blank pages and throwing it in there and it's something quick, maybe. But if it's a notebook, I don't think there's much you can. A+ content is meant to kind of show the audience or show the purchaser what extra they're getting, what personality they're getting, what they're going to be getting out of it. If it's just a notebook, unless you have some specific purpose for the notebook, then maybe if you have a specific purpose or there's slightly extra lines or something that you think might be of interest, I don't think I would bother because the look inside feature isn't that exciting for a notebook. You just click in and see blank lines. Most people actually don't use the look inside feature because a lot of people shop mobile through the mobile apps, and you don't actually get the look inside feature from the mobile apps. So with that being the case, they were never using it anyway to make a purchase. So for notebooks, I wouldn't worry about it. I think it's not necessarily worth the effort. Now, that being said, let's say you have a few notebooks or something that sell really, really well. I don't think it would hurt to add it on. If you have something that's already selling, making it better is not going to be a bad thing. But otherwise, I don't think I would bother. Okay. How to rank high in competitive coloring book niches. I think how to rank high is to be specific to exactly who and what audience you want to create the book for. You can't just create a coloring book for kids 3 to 5. Now, I know that you could a few years ago, but there is a lot of people in that niche right now. And if you want to get into that niche, you can definitely try as far as, keywords and all that sort of thing, but it's probably going to require some advertising at this point in time. So I would be a little bit more focused, keyword or coloring books for kids who love soccer ages 3 to 5, right? So then your coloring book would be about kids and soccer balls and, referees and things like that. And then I think you're more likely to be competitive versus a general thing like kids 3 to 5 coloring book. So that's how I would suggest for coloring books. Try and niche down to a specific audience, and then that way there is less competition within those areas. And do remember, people are always looking for unique gifts for their kids, friends, kids, birthdays, Christmas, whatever. So maybe a book for soccer is exactly what their grandson loves soccer, right? And so they want to get him a coloring book about soccer. So that's the sort of thing that is a perfect gift for someone. That's the sort of thing people go, oh, that's exactly what my grandson would love. So you've got to kind of think of it from that point of view. Let's see. Okay. How to link to the other book. Bailey says, I signed up for Etsy with your link. Do you put a statement about personal use only or not for commercial sale on your products? Yes, I actually do. I put on my products that they are for personal use only, and I put that in the description. Also, sometimes I'll put that in the pictures. You can put, the pictures you put on Etsy. So I'll put that in the pictures. I haven't had really a problem with that. I'm sure it does happen, and there's a proliferation of that sort of thing. But I kind of like to give the world the benefit of the doubt. If you're going to put something out there for sale, especially digital, you've kind of got to accept that people are going to do things that they shouldn't with it. Kind of maybe even take it as a compliment. I know it doesn't feel that way, but if your stuff is good enough to get ripped off, then, at least you have some good stuff. But I do put that in there. And I had one person contact me that they wanted to use it for their Sunday school class. And they wanted to print off a bunch of copies for their Sunday school class. And if that was okay. And I said, yes, because I thought they were kind of using it with the intent that they purchased it to use for that intent, and they weren't trying to sell it to other people. They were trying to use it for kind of what they purchased it for. So I was okay with that. But you'll find that most people use things honestly, and there's not a whole lot you can do about the 1% who doesn't. And even if you put for commercial or for your personal use only, that criminal element is going to do it whether you put that or not. But I do put that there, and yeah, I don't worry too much about it. Sorry if that's not the best answer, but I have so many things to do. That's not something I'm going to worry about. Okay. Oh, Grandma Wanders Off. I like that name. KDP have changed to no longer give you a number. They no longer give you an ISBN for low content when it comes to publishing. How? Let's see. Do I now click individual territories and then just UK? Many thanks. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to understand your question. KDP is, I know that they don't give you an ISBN. Are you saying you can only click? So no, you don't have to click. You can have it. Let me start over. You can have your book sell through all Amazon territories. All the ISBN or lack thereof of an ISBN means it can't be sold through Barnes & Noble, Walmart, whatever the UK equivalents are out there. But if it's through the Amazon ecospace, meaning they're going to go to Amazon and purchase it, which is really pretty much 99% of most people's sales. I do know there are people who did have pretty good, what they call extended sales, extended distribution, which is like library, Walmart, Barnes & Noble, things like that. I never have. I've had okay sales, but never huge amount of sales. So really all it's saying is they're just going to keep it to the Amazon marketplace. So you can use the ASIN, which every book gets an ASIN anyway, and it'll sell through the Amazon ecospace. So any territory, all that. So I wouldn't worry about any of that. All it means, the ISBN means, is it's or lack of it. It's just that it's going to only sell through Amazon, which is kind of where I get all my sales anyway. So I wasn't too concerned with losing. I think last month I made $2 from extended distribution sales. So I'm not too concerned about losing my $2. I think the most I've ever made was like about $50 around Christmas time a few years ago. But they've actually cracked down since about last year in extended distribution sales anyway. So hopefully that answered your question. Let me know if it doesn't. Anyone else have any questions? Like I said, I'm not too worried about the whole ASIN or lack of an ISBN thing, because most of my sales do come from Amazon. I think that's pretty much most people's experience with, KDP. So I wouldn't stress about that. And the lack of a look inside feature, especially for our notebooks, you're really not losing anything. And also, like a lot of people do shop on the mobile apps, so they never looked at the look inside feature anyway. And you would be surprised I was worried. I remember I had a book. I think it was November, and I'd published it way later than I wanted to, but it was for Christmas sales, and it took forever to get the look inside feature. And I was so stressed about that. But I got a lot of sales before the look inside feature ever appeared. And so, I've had the experience that it doesn't really matter. And I know people think that's the reason it's not selling, but A+ content is your opportunity to, fix that problem. And you can see that through the mobile app, whereas the look inside feature was not actually a function in the mobile app. All right. Any other questions? Anyone else? If not, that's kind of all I have today. I am live pretty much every Wednesday at noon Eastern time. So come see me, and I'm happy to have you here. I will be out for the summer. I will have 1 or 2 videos a week. Definitely one on Wednesday at noon come out, but they won't be live because I'm moving. So that'll take pretty much all my energy to move me, my 4 kids, and my husband across the country, because we do that every once in a while. We're actually figuring it out. I think we're on our 13th? Yeah, 13th move in 22 years. So, loads of fun. All right. Let's see. I got some more questions. Grandma Wonderoff, you're welcome. Yeah, don't stress too much. I know there's a lot to learn on the KDP channel, or KDP thing. I'm actually have a video that's going to come out while I'm over the summer. It's like stop procrastinating and publish your first book. And it is seriously the streamlined, super easy try and publish something, because I feel a lot of people don't start because they're like, there's so much to learn. And well, that's very true. There is so much to learn. Your first one doesn't need to be hard. You can just put something out there to start, learning. And then once you've learned that, you expand upon your skills. So I have a video coming out. I'm not sure what day, but it'll probably be the beginning of summer, middle of June, I think. Okay. I'm sorry. I've got a cough today. Allergies. Let's see. How much time do you spend on a book? Oh, that totally varies. I have been working on this one book since February, and I just finished it the other day. I'm on proofreading it, and it's a pretty involved daily self-study book. So it's got 365 prompts and questions, and it's fairly involved. So that one's taken me since February, and I just finished it. So I'm proofreading it now to make sure all the prompts and sentences and grammar are all correct. And then I've got to check all my numbers, because it correlates to days of the year and all this other stuff. So it's pretty involved. So that took me a while. I've been creating some puzzle books and some other type of coloring books and stuff. And usually for those, I try, because this is something I fit into my life and everything else. My goal is 1 page a day. So one book has 70 pages. So that's going to take me about 70 days to create, but I'm doing just 1 page a day. And then I'm doing a word search where there's going to be 100 word searches. And so I'm creating 2 word search puzzles a day. So that'll take me about 50 days. And I have some other full color books that have 30 pages. They have 40 pages, sorry, 40 pages. And they take me, I do 1 to 2 pages a day. So, 20 to 40 days to create. So you can see I slowly move along on my books. Occasionally I'll get it into my head to do something. I had a word search the other day I did in like 3 days because I was just focused. Must finish this word search puzzle. I don't know why. I just had it in my head to do it. It took me like 3 days to do. But mostly I just kind of chug along and move along a few pages every single day. Consistency, there's nothing to substitute for consistency except consistency. It's one of the things that will make you succeed is come up with a process, whatever your process may be, and consistently work on it and publish things. And mine happens to be, the page a day, because I feel like I procrastinate, like, oh, I'll get to that when I get to that. So now I've just been consistently trying to say, I don't have much time, but I can fit in, 1 page today, or I can fit in 2 pages today. And even though it's on multiple projects, that works for me because some of my projects, like my word searches, I can actually do while watching TV with my family. Which I know sounds strange, but they don't take a lot of thought on my part. I find the thing I'm looking for and then put some words in there. And so, I can do that while, talking or watching TV with my family. But there's other things I need quiet time for. And so I'll have to find 10, 20 minutes to be able to do that. So I kind of have multiple projects because I have things that can work around my life and how my life is at whatever moment during the day. All right. Let's see. How does the place to keyword affect the ranking in the subtitle? Yes, there is some. You want to put your most desired or keyword heavy words at the beginning of your subtitle. It's not like 100% thing. Like they're more important, but how much important by the algorithm? I would say in the beginning it's more important, but as the algorithm learns what people type in and they either click on your book and look at your book's description page or purchase, that will adjust because the algorithm is living and breathing. So if it finds that the keywords at the end of your subtitle are actually producing sales, then it's going to focus more on those. So yes, in the beginning, but as the algorithm learns your book, less so. So, I wouldn't stress about that too much. Let's see. It's taken 3 days to get the publishing page as everything kept getting rejected. Yes, that's true. When I first started, I tend not to use anyone's templates. I create my books pages, everything from scratch because I got so frustrated when it would reject it. And since I just sat down and learned all the rules, I don't think I've had a book rejected since for publishing errors. Actually, I had one, but I knew exactly, I was wondering if the algorithm would be picky about it. It was it was a bleed and I had some white space towards the edges, but it was meant to be there. And that always makes the algorithm a little funky and it rejected it. But I knew exactly what the problem was. So I came up with a workaround and fixed that problem. But I totally get that it takes a little bit of time. But once you get it and you understand what's being rejected, why it's being rejected, it becomes easier. Or at least if you get a rejection, you're like, oh, I know what I did wrong. I do work on several books at a time. Like I said, and it's because of how, like I said, sometimes I need full concentration for something. The one I've been working on since February is really mentally taxing because it's like a study guide where you read and then you ponder questions. And so it's really mentally taxing. So it's taken me a while to do the project how I want it well. It's an evergreen type project. I think it's going to do really well. I have an email list already for this particular project, so I'm okay with spending some more time because I can email out to my email list, and hopefully I'll get some initial sales from that. Harsh says, I started with $0 for months and earned $10, and now I'm at $800 in. That's awesome. It takes time to figure out what skills you have that you can benefit the rest of the world. And I mean that literally. I've done this for low content itself for about probably 5 years now. I didn't really focus on it till about 3-4 years ago. And it took me a while to figure out my thing, like the thing that I feel that I can benefit the rest of the world with. And that took a while to figure out. And I was kind of like, like a lot of people who starting throwing this at the wall, throwing that at the wall. And eventually I figured out what I can do and what I can do well. And then focusing on those things, creating a brand, an email list, and all that has really changed how I do things. Like, I don't need to publish thousands of books anymore. And I did in the beginning because I didn't know what I was doing. Now I publish probably this year, I'm going to publish about 30 books total. And I bet you about 5 of them are going to make the most money for me. So, that's kind of from my experience. Are coloring books still popular? Yes, coloring books are still popular. But like I said, you've got to niche down to something a little bit more than kids 3 to 5, right? Kids who love soccer 3 to 5. I'm not saying you have to do that one. I'm just saying something like that. You've got to be a little bit more specific to really do well in the coloring book market. It's a gift, and people like gifts personalized to them. I think it's a little too personalized to do like a name coloring book, like a coloring book for Isabella, right? That may be too specific. You could try it, I suppose. Maybe pick the top 10 girl names and do their name in unicorns or something. I don't know. You could try it. It's worth a try, but it might take a lot of time and not get you the results you're looking for. So something a little more general, like soccer, football, which I know football, American football, or, another sport that kids are into. Science, something like that. Discuss about book marketing. Oh my gosh, book marketing is a huge thing. I'm going to do some book marketing YouTube videos. So just be for those. I've got a whole list of videos I'm going to do for this summer. I'm up to 4 for this summer already taped. So we'll see on those. But book marketing, I will add that and talk a little bit more about those in those videos, because that's just a huge, huge, huge subject. I love how much you learn by writing books. It's true. You learn a lot. And I think that is the key thing, is figure out what you've learned. And what you did the first time probably isn't perfect. So start thinking about what you can do for your next book that's better. And instead of trying to keep rehashing the same book, publish it, put out into the world, and start to create something new based upon what you've already learned. Don't let perfection hold you back. I've got a few ideas, but I'm not very good at tech. So you're learning and staying patient with yourself. Yes, definitely do that. You have to be patient. I want to say I am a technical person, but it's not like, even being a technical person, it's easy to figure out words you don't understand, like bleed. I remember being like, what is bleed? And why is it a thing? And I had to look up all the things on Google, because when I started, there was no YouTube channels about this stuff. It was just, there was a few podcasts sort of, but it wasn't very helpful being a podcast, and it's kind of a visual thing. But I had to look up all this stuff on Google. So just be patient with yourself. You can learn it. You can do it. I mean, I always tell people my 18-month-old could use my iPad better than I can. And it was because she just had no fear. She just pressed buttons, right? No fear whatsoever. It's us adults who have this fear of failure, that we don't want to fail. Well, it's fine to fail. It just means you've learned something. Just, say, okay, I learned that lesson. I know that, and I'm going to move on and learn something else, and it'll be okay. Pinterest marketing. Okay, I haven't done a few Pinterest marketings in a while. I should definitely do some videos on that. That's a really good idea. How to add other book links in A+. You are not supposed to add other book links in A+. You can show other books that are within your brand. So if you want to put your logo, and then your logo being your pen name or something like that, and then show a few of your other books, you can definitely do that. And then you'll have the titles on there, but not necessarily the links to any other books, because that's not what A+ content is for. It is meant to highlight your book, highlight your brand, and that sort of thing. So it's not actually meant to be able to click to other items. You could do ads on your own books, and then your product would be shown on your product page, and then you would have to pay for that, obviously. But, that's a way to think about it too. You can do that. Could I use an Amazon link directly in a pin? Yes, you can. You cannot use an Amazon affiliate link. That is against the affiliate rules. But if you're just going to use the short link of your Amazon product page, which is the product page that just has Amazon.com/your ASIN number, then yeah, it's fine. You can definitely use that. No problem whatsoever. I've seen an A+ content where you can click and the book's open. That might be a feature for like actual publishers. So that's probably not necessarily something we can do yet. At least I have not seen it, and I don't know how. I've seen videos, and I have the feature to add a video in my A+ content, so you can click and see a video, but I have not seen anything where you can add links. And if I imagine if someone has a link, they shouldn't, unless they are like a publisher, like a publishing house, which has a whole different relationship with Amazon than independent publishers. They have their own rules and stuff that they've worked out. I want to add pictures with colors in my book. Yes. Okay. So yes and no. If you're going to do pictures in your book's color, that sort of thing, it is going to cost you money. So you have to decide if you can sell your book for more. And that some people pay a premium for all color books. I sell quite a few books at the $12.99 price point, and they are full color under 40 pages. They're about 40 pages, 41 pages, and they sell for $12.99, and I make like I think it's like $3, almost $3 a book, or is it $2.89? Something like that. I can't remember exactly. But I make enough for those, and that's fine. But just if you're going to use color, yes, it will be more expensive. There also is the option of, instead of premium color, there's standard color, and you can play with that. I just did a video was on Monday that I put out about the Amazon royalty calculator. So check that out and play with it and see what you want to create, how many pages, if you need premium color, standard color, and you can look at the differences. It's kind of what it sounds like. Standard color isn't quite as good as premium color, but it is cheaper. So you can kind of play with the pages and see if it's worthwhile to you. But if you're going to use color, I wouldn't use it just here or there or wherever. I would do a lot more color, like color on every page, even if it's just an accent flower in every single corner, because then people feel like they're paying $12.99 or $14.99 for something that should cost that much, right? Let's see. No problem if you're late. Please make more tutorials on how to make A+ content. Oh, okay. I will do some more on A+ content. This one was really to kind of show you to look out there and get inspiration and ideas, because I think once you see what's out there, you can kind of figure out how to create it. But yeah, it's a good idea to show you how to create some of these types of things. So I can do that. Which did your YouTube video? Are we talking about the YouTube video? I mean, a direct book link. I think that, yeah, you can do a direct book link for Pinterest. You just can't use affiliate links. And I do have some YouTube videos on Pinterest already. So I have a Pinterest playlist, so you can check that out. I've seen a link on someone else's, but when you tried to use it, it was rejected. See, I'm pretty sure I remember reading in the A+ content rules that you're not supposed to use links, which completely makes sense, right? Because they want to keep you, they want to keep you on their page. And so if they had links, you could link to somewhere outside Amazon. Even if it was an internal link to Amazon, they're still just going to ban links, right? Because they don't want to have to train their bots to decide, oh, it's an Amazon link and it's to blah, blah. They're just going to say no links. And then Amazon's going to, just enforce that. It makes sense from their point of view, because it creates less problems for everybody. Let's see. How do you stay so beautiful? Thank you. Lots of sleep. No, actually, I don't sleep very much. That's probably my biggest problem. I need more sleep in my life. Pinterest marketing and your channel. Yes, I want to create more Pinterest marketing in my channel. I do have a whole playlist, like I said, going through starting a Pinterest account and also doing some basic pins and Pinterest marketing. I was really into it 2 years ago, and it really showed in my sales. I could tell it showed in my sales because when I was very active, I saw results. And since I also had an Etsy store and I was doing pins for it was a whole audience, right? It was an audience, and I was doing the same type of pins stuff to my Amazon stores and stuff to my Etsy stores. And you can actually in Etsy see that your traffic came from Pinterest. So I knew my Pinterest marketing was working because I could actually literally in Etsy see it working. I couldn't tell in Amazon, as far as, nothing in Amazon will tell me my traffic came from Pinterest, but I saw a reflection in my sales. And when I stopped doing the Pinterest marketing, it went down. But it's like anything, Pinterest is about consistency. Anything's about consistency. And I had so many projects going on, this YouTube channel. I had so many things going on that I stopped, which is bad. I know, but we all have time and lives and all that sort of stuff, right? How many brands do you have? I have 3 brands that I actively push. I have a ton of pen names. I think I have like, I don't even know, 50 pen names. But the brands that I actually spend time on are 3. So you can have as many brands as you can handle, but I would suggest starting with 1 and then, moving out, or maybe just starting with 2 if you have kind of 2 interests, then, do that. But initially it was 1, and then I've expanded it to 3, and that's honestly the most I can possibly handle. Let's see. Yes, you can use a book link in a pen. Like maybe I'm not getting, like, you can directly link from Amazon to Pinterest, or from Pinterest to Amazon. That's perfectly fine. And you can actually use the pin, like on Amazon, there's a pin. So you can pin that one to your Pinterest page. They are just not the most effective pins because they're not pretty. And Pinterest users really like kind of that long and skinny look. And the pin directly from Amazon it's not as pretty. It's okay. It's just not as pretty. It's like anything. It's okay, but you can do better if you actually create a picture pin and then have that link when they click on that picture go to Amazon. So that's just a more effective type pin. But you can pin directly, the pin button on Amazon. You can use that. Any other questions? You guys are very chatty today. I have a lot of questions today. That's good. I like that though. Let's see. Pinterest. I missed that one. So Pinterest is awesome because it will be awesome because it's ignoring me no matter what I do. I think the trick with Pinterest is a few things. One, you have to make sure your audience is on there, right? If your audience, the audience I use Pinterest for is rabid. They're crafters, okay? Rabid crafters. And so they're all over Pinterest, right? Crafters they're on Pinterest. And so for me, it worked well. And then what I did is I studied the pins of like people who are pinned a lot and are very popular, and then created similar type pins. I didn't copy or anything, but my style was similar. I used my own colors and my own, obviously, book covers and things, but I tried to make a similar thing, a similar method, I guess, is the best way to. I look at things and say, okay, what do I think about this pin is working? Is it the colors? Is it the font? Is it the call to action? And then I create something similar. So I'm looking at, not copying, but I'm looking at the points of anything and saying, okay, what can I do that's similar? And so that's the success I had in Pinterest. I had to pin every single day, and I pinned not just pins of my books. I also pinned quotes. Motivational quotes work really well on Pinterest. So things my audience would like as far as a motivational quote, I pinned a lot of those. That got a lot of interest. So then they would also look at my other pins with books. So that's kind of one of the things I did. Oh, let's see. We noticed your book's low cost classification was incorrect, so we corrected it. Receiving this on one of my books while the other books were under review. So you're worried that the rest are going to have that? Probably. I think they're going to give us a lot of grace in this initial period of deciding what a low content book is. I just did a children's book that I published the other day, and I did not push the low content button because it was a children's book, and it went through fine. So I think if you're worried that a lot of your books are going to start receiving that, just note what types of books are doing that. They're going to give us some grace as they move to this new system. So learn from whatever you got, and I wouldn't stress about it at this point in time. Just if they're saying that type of book should be low content or shouldn't be low content, follow whatever rule they're coming up with. That's my best advice. None of us really know, right? But like I said, I just published a children's book. No problem. It went through, and it was fine. Oh, anything else? Because it's been like 50 minutes. I really should go. I can hear my kids making lunch over there. So I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for asking questions. I really enjoy helping you guys. I will try and make any sort of videos you're interested in. Just let me know in comments of my videos. And I'm happy to put it on my list. I've got a pretty big list right now, but I'm happy to add more things to my list to give you guys the information and help you need. All right. Let's see. Use Pinterest not only for books, but Zazzle products. Yes, that's what a lot of people do too. And you're going to buy her children's books course is great. I bought it too. So we all kind of buy each other stuff. It's great. I love it. But I like supporting my fellow authors. I like supporting my fellow publishers and YouTubers and all that sort of stuff, because I think the world would be a better place if everybody supported everyone, right? I think that's a good place. At least, yeah, that's kind of what I'm going with. I'll go with the total positive end, right? Okay, yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad I'm somebody's favorite YouTuber. I wonder sometimes, but it's okay because I enjoy what I do and I love to help you guys. I really mean that from the bottom or best part of my heart or whatever you want to call it. I do enjoy helping people. All right. Yes, ideas. Okay, tell me anything you guys want to learn in the quotes. I really got to go because I think my kids will start singing show tunes or something really if I don't go. But thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next Wednesday. Thanks. Bye.